Lately, I've noticed something strange in conversations with family and friends and colleagues. People are achieving things they've dreamt about. New jobs, promotions, businesses are growing, opportunities are expanding, and yet many of them are exhausted. Not just tired, but deeply, deeply, and quietly tired. The kind of tired that doesn't show up on LinkedIn announcements or on Instagram posts, because publicly, ambition still looks very exciting, but privately, it often feels heavy. I am Sebenzile Nkambule, and this is Context, where we slow down the moment we are living in just enough to understand what it really means. Today, we are talking about the cost of ambition, burnout, hustle culture, and the silent pressure many people carry but rarely talk about. For many Africans, especially younger generations, ambition isn't just personal, it's historical. Many are first generation professionals, first to enter corporate spaces, first to build businesses, first to earn globally competitive incomes. Yet ambition has never simply been just about success. It's been about mobility, being able to move from one area to another, from Ekasi to the burbs. It's been about security. It's been about safety, changing individual and family trajectories. And for years, the message was very clear: work harder, push further, sleep less now so you can rest later. And that's still quite the message, isn't it? People push hard, and by the time you get to retirement, if you're able to get there, you're exhausted. And you see, sadly, many cases of people who only enjoy a handful of years of their retirement before their bodies give in. The hustle wasn't just cultural, it felt necessary because opportunity felt rare and missing it felt dangerous. But something, it seems, has shifted. Or at least I hope something is shifting. More people are reaching milestones and discovering that they don't feel the relief that they expected when they get there. All the sleepless nights, all the attempts and working hard to get the title that you wanted. But then when you finally have it, there's a sad sense of emptiness. Maybe you wanted a family and you just prioritized work and you didn't get to building that family. Just a sense of feeling disillusioned, feeling disappointed by the time you get to the place that you've been chasing for the longest time. So let's talk a bit about, right, the rise of the hustle culture. Globally, the past decade celebrated productivity as identity. How dare you not identify yourself as hardworking? How dare you not be proud to say, I slept 3 hours so that I could complete this PowerPoint or to be ready for this presentation. Wake up at 5 a.m., maybe 3 a.m. There was also the 3 a.m. club. You optimize your schedule, you turn hobbies into income streams, always building something, always chasing something. Social media amplified this idea that rest was laziness and exhaustion proof of commitment. Psychologists now describe hustle culture as a system where self-worth becomes tied to output rather than well-being. Imagine that. Your own sense of self-worth is tied to output. What have I done? What am I doing? What am I building? As opposed to, I woke up this morning, the sun is shining, I feel good, my heart is beating, I'm breathing, I'm alive. No. It's about what have you actually achieved. And research from the World Health Organization formally recognized burnout as an occupational phenomenon linked to chronic workplace stress that hasn't been successfully managed. But burnout doesn't always look dramatic, right? Often it looks like constant fatigue. It looks like a loss of motivation, emotional detachment for the things that once set your soul on fire. But because you're so tired, you actually can't bring yourself to do the things that you enjoy or to do the things that you love. Feeling successful, but strangely disconnected. And because ambition is praised, many people experience burnout silently because you are patted on the back for not having slept enough, patted on the back for pushing yourself, for not being the soccer mom on Saturdays because you're trying to recover or put in extra hours for your work. And that sort of thing is praised, yet people are burning out silently. And sadly, I've been there myself, pushing hard, doing amazing things. And people would say that, ooh, there you are, you're doing great things, but burnt out and exhausted. And what does it look like in our context as Africans, right? Where ambition seems to carry additional weight, being the one that breaks the so-called family curse, that changes things, not just for yourself, but for your siblings, for your family name, for your children and their children. Your success doesn't belong to you as an individual. It supports families, it creates expectations, and also opens doors for others. So stepping back or slowing down can feel like you're letting people down. How do you let go of such a job where you had a fancy title, right? Nobody will understand or to know it's for my mental health or I'm burnt out. There's an unspoken pressure that many professionals carry. I cannot afford to fail, we've been made to believe. I cannot afford to rest. I cannot lose momentum. Every day, this is the level of pressure that we are put under. And unlike previous generations, today's professionals are navigating this pressure while also facing economic uncertainty, rising living costs, and rapidly changing industries. So ambition becomes both empowerment as well as responsibility. There's obviously the social media loop, if you will, the comparison effect, where every scroll shows you someone who's launching something, winning something, celebrating something, traveling somewhere, becoming something. And even when we intellectually understand that social media is curated, emotionally, it still shapes how we measure ourselves. Think about that. You know for yourself that you're not in that person's shoes. You don't know what nasty things they need to do to live that life. You don't know how much they're not sleeping in order to live that life. But somehow psychologically, it still gets to you. Now, if it still gets to you as a 40-something-year-old, as a 30-something-year-old, what then for teenagers who are also subjected to the same level of pressure while their own identities and personalities haven't firmed up just yet? They're still discovering who they are in the world. They're still discovering who they want to be in the world. And suddenly, they already are bombarded with images and stories and reels which make them feel as though they are inadequate as people, as humans who are still figuring out how to become grown humans, how to become fully human and understanding who they are. Researchers studying social media behavior consistently find that constant exposure to achievement narratives increases anxiety and perceived inadequacy, even among high performers. Because ambition today is no longer private. It is constantly visible, and visibility changes pressure. You are no longer just pursuing success, you are performing success. It's not good enough that you can afford to go to Dubai for a holiday. You must show us that you were there by the Burj. You were there doing amazing things. It's just not enough that you've worked hard enough to actually afford it. You must prove to everybody that you have. So let's talk a bit about the silent side of success, right? We don't talk enough about the emotional complexity of growth. Sometimes ambition creates loneliness. Friendships shift, time disappears, identity changes faster than what relationships can adapt. You outgrow environments that once felt comfortable, but haven't yet arrived somewhere new, right? And so people exist in a quiet in-between space. I'm not who I used to be. I'm not where I want to be. I'm somewhere in between. And that can be very dissatisfying. It can make one actually quite miserable if you think about it. You're grateful, but you're feeling overwhelmed. You're proud, but you're feeling exhausted. You're successful, but are feeling uncertain. And maybe the real conversation we need is this. What if ambition isn't supposed to feel sustainable without adjustment? What if rest isn't the opposite of ambition, but in fact, rest is a part of it. Think about that. I think it's time we redefine success for ourselves. It's good that it happens early in life, but even if it happens much later, as long as you reach the realization. But we are beginning to see a shift, thankfully. More conversations about boundaries, mental health, redefining productivity, choosing sustainability over constant acceleration. Ambition itself isn't the problem, but ambition without reflection can quietly become pressure without end. Perhaps success today is not just about how far we go, but how well we remain ourselves along the way. So, if you've been feeling tired lately, even while things are going well, you're not alone. Many people are navigating the same silent pressure. And maybe understanding that is the first step toward changing how we pursue and perceive success. I am Sebenzile Nkambule, and this is Context, because information is everywhere, but context is everything. Subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen. I'll catch you next week. Follow the link.